Hello. Good evening. Welcome to Toma Sessions Live with Richie Cruz. Can you give me a thumbs up if my audio is okay? Is my voice okay? Actually, in future sessions, we're not gonna do this anymore. So that at least now at the early stages. Um, we're still learning as we go, but yeah. Again, good evening. Welcome to Toma Sessions Live with me, Richie Cruz. Let's wait for maybe 5 more minutes until the room is a bit packed. But as you can see, our guest is in the room already. So let's just wait. Actually, it just finished raining. Right here in Marikina, it just finished raining. So, yeah. Well, actually, we needed the rain because of the heat that we are actually experiencing for the past couple of days. So, welcome to our viewers who are here right now. Actually, like I said, we'll wait for a bit. But for those who are not going to be able to view tonight, there's a replay of this session at YouTube. You just go to Richie Toma Sessions, or you can check it at FB Bartending School Philippines. So actually, before we start fully, just for those who are just new in viewing our program, Toma Sessions. Obviously, well, Toma is a word, a local term that we have here that would mean cheers, or another local word is tagay. So, and session is a meeting. So this platform was actually born because of our COVID situation, and the bar industry. Well, actually, every industry has been greatly affected by the pandemic. But I thought of what can I do for the industry in my own little way, so that at least we can keep the fire burning and keep everybody hopeful, keep everybody inspired, and at the same time keep everybody informed. So I said, why not put up a platform or a program wherein I can interview or talk to some of our bartender friends from outside the Philippines that have made a contribution in this industry that we all love, and hopefully with them spending time with us, we can be inspired also. And we need to be connected with everyone more than ever. So that's why Toma Sessions was born. And I started actually with my friend from Singapore, but I was still trying to learn how Zoom worked, and then everything else followed. We had here as guests. We were honored to have Dale de Groff, and then Jillian Voss. We also had Andre Fedora. We had Daniel Nevsky. We have Beautiful Booze, Natalie Migliarini. Okay, and actually tonight we have another special guest. Okay, so I think we can. Well, I will proceed already because after an hour this will be automatically cut. So actually if we are cut by the end time of our program, so we will reset it again so that we can wrap things up. Okay, so again, good evening to everyone who just who are here right now, tuning into Toma Sessions Live with Richie Cruz. This today is Wednesday, May 6th, and it's just very good day despite the warm weather. It rained, and our guest actually is I consider a very, I would say, is a part of my career in bartending, because, well, just to give you a background, me and our guest for tonight sat on the same table during our second dinner, if I'm not mistaken, and the rest is history, as I say. And during this competition, actually, okay, for those who don't know, so I represented the Philippines for Bacardi Legacy way back 2015-16. That was the first one for the Philippines, and he actually represented the United States of America, and yeah, I'll let him tell you more about it, but just to give you an introduction of our guest, he actually, when a few years after the competition of Bacardi Legacy, I decided to go to New York twice, and hats off to him. I feel very lucky and humble to have him actually. We had a chat. I think that was around maybe morning or afternoon, and yeah, he really found time to have a chat despite his busy schedule in New York. As you very well, for those who don't know, New York is really that's one of the mecca places of bartending, and we'll get to learn a little more about it from our guest. So let me just bring him in the room. Hello. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so without further ado, our guest, also, now he owns Double Chicken Please. We'll let him explain more of that later as we go along. Now let us welcome Mr. Jin Chan, Venceremos. Good morning, brother. Good morning. Thank you for taking time. I know it's quite, our time difference is really a challenge, but then again, I'm happy that you're here to share information and inspire our viewers, especially like if in case you didn't know, you have a big impact in the bartending industry here because of that competition that you and I both participated in. That's why everybody that when I showed the poster, they were like saying, "Oh, Jin Chan there, yes, we're gonna view Jin Chan, Venceremos." That's it's very relevant, that cocktail, cocktail of yours at this time that we are experiencing, and thing like this, you see, well, because in the Philippines there are a lot of we have some, how do you call it, programs also. We contribute as much as we can, and the way Toma Session works is actually I'm bringing global friends in the Philippines, so to keep us inspired and informed of what's really happening. So, okay, so Jin, can you tell us something about who Jin Chan is? So, How did everything start with you?
Uh, well, I mean, I don't know where to start. I born in Taiwan, born and raised, and I moved to New York about 9.5, 10 years ago. Just it's very random choice, and at the time I just started bartending in Taiwan for like less than a year, and I always wanted to go somewhere. And one day I met a friend who is a Hong Kongese bartender, Jackie Low. She's based in Shanghai right now. At the time, I know nothing, so I just asked her, say, "Yo, like where's the most challenging place for cocktail in the world? I want to challenge myself." And she said, "It might be New York." And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I'll go New York. A month later, I packed all the things. I bought a one-way ticket, and I'm here. And I'm still here. I'm a lucky guy. Yeah.
Oh, so it was pretty random. It was pretty random which states in America. But is US is okay. So based on what you told me, so if Jackie Lowe would have said Europe, would you have gone to Europe or London or Greece?
Maybe because at the time I really have no idea where should I go. I just want to go somewhere. Because Taiwan is a lovely country, but it's small, it's very small. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
was there.
So, but how is Jackie Lowe influential to your career? I mean, what's your relation with her?
Jackie's a great friend. I mean, I got to know her at the bar when I was in Taiwan. She was learning flaring because the bar I used to work is quite well known about flaring. So I think Jackie at the time she came to learn that, and then we just become friends afterward. And it's really fun to hang out with her. And apparently she knows a lot of like international bartending culture, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I want to learn from her. I want to know more. So yeah, we're still a good friend. She's pregnant now. She's about to have a baby. So good luck with her.
Ah, nice. Yeah, Taiwan is really, I mean, it's also in Asia, you have really top flair bartenders there. York is really responsible, one of the godfathers of flair in Taiwan, right? The bar soul, and
Yeah.
among other flair bartenders there. So, okay, so. But what's your background? I mean, did you also came from a hospitality course?
No, I actually came from design world. When I was young, I always wanted to be a magician, so I started do magic on the streets, stuff like that. I always thought I'm gonna be a magician afterwards, but that didn't happen. I went to high school and college. I went to art school, sort of. So I became a designer, and that's what I like. And I think performing and designing both are my passion, and that coincidentally lead me to bartending. And for me, bartending is a perfect thing to merge both skills, and that's why I like it I like it so much, and stick with it.
Okay. All right. So tell me. So when you were in New York, was the plate given to you already, as they say, or how did that? Because New York is basically, when I went there, it's like the term concrete jungle where dreams are made of, right? It's really true because people there are like walking fast and it's crazy there because the movement is really so fast paced and whatnot. So how did you? I mean, like we're both from Southeast Asia, basically, or Asia, and for us to go to a Western country, that's something really wow. What the f am I? So how did that go?
Well, I mean, yeah, New York is New York. New York is a really special place for me, Alice. And I when I first arrived in New York, it's a little bit overwhelming. Well, you see it in the movie all the time. Lots of like interesting people, interesting culture. I think I spent quite a time to try to emerge in the very different culture back home, and I finally sort of get used to it, and I like it a lot. It's very comfortable for me, at least. It's fast paced, yes, but I mean, I like fast paced, and the diversity here, it's pretty fun for me, actually. Yeah, there's lots of weird people, lots of fun people, and lots of bad people and good people. But that's all a spice of life, and I like it all. I think it's just a really good practice, and yeah, it's just really fun.
Yeah, no,
It's
diversity there is
yeah, I mean, New Yorker. I mean, till now, I still don't know what's the definition of New Yorker, but it's definitely not as terrifying as people describe. It's not really a dangerous place. It's not really a very. It's not everybody are arrogant. Not everybody are rude. Not everybody are only mind their business. Is people still help each other. People still laugh together. I still have quite a lot of friends here, and yeah, I'm really grateful for all the people I've met in New York. Some of them in Taiwan, they're actually in the room right now and texting me at the same time. Steph, stop it, and I also say
Hi guys.
I like the culture here, and I go back to Asia a lot as well, and I wish I can be the sort of bridge from my hometown to here, just to if I can do this, if I can be doing something here, I believe everybody from Taiwan can do it too, or even in Philippines, everybody from Asia back home, because I'm just like everybody, born and raised in Asia, and then just throw myself in New York afterwards, and I like the challenge, and I think everybody is capable to do this too.
All right, this is a trivia that our viewers want to know or might be surprised. I remember you telling this to me. So, your hair before was similar to Jeremy Lin's hair, right? So,
Yeah.
I think we were talking about that when we were having coffee. So, what's your? Can you tell us about that? The hairstyle of Jeremy Lin and your hairstyle?
Well, I got to know Jeremy because the hair, when I was competing Legacy, the day before the US final, I went to my friend's noodle shop, and Jeremy was there as well. And then he came to me, asked about my hair. He wants to do dreadlock as well. So we chatted, and then at the end of the chat, I asked him like, "Hey, are you Jeremy?" And he said yes, and because we both Christians, so I asked him like, "Hey, can you actually pray for me? Because I'm doing this competition tomorrow. It's quite big for me. It's a life-changing opportunity. I'm kind of nervous." And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So he prayed for me outside of the noodle shop, and that's it. And I don't have his contact information. He doesn't know mine, so that's it. And then afterward, luckily I won the competition. And then a few months later, just by chance, he was playing with Nets, Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
It was, I don't know how many years ago, 3 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
And then so he came to Angel Share at the time. I was still working at there. He was brought by his friend. He's actually a pastor when I was young. He's a pastor. Apparently he's an alcoholic, but he's a pastor. Anyway, so
yes.
they came in together, and then we got to. We recognized each other, and then we started talking again. And then he told me like, "Hey, he actually really want to do dreadlock." I said, "Yeah, I know somebody can help." So I brought him to my salon to do the dreads, and then afterwards, yeah. But that didn't last long because he got injured. He got injured at the first game. That's done. So I was.
Oh, okay.
So I actually text him say, "I hope you are okay. I'm sorry that the dress didn't bring you good luck." Anyways, but yeah, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, well, he won. He won with the Raptors, and now he's doing good in China. I
Yeah,
believe.
he's joined Beijing, the team in Beijing.
Yeah.
It's been good. It's been good.
All right, so that's an interesting trivia that I still remember until now. Okay, let's go to the competition. Let's go to Legacy. Who were you encouraged by the New York bartenders, or was that something really that you have in your mind when you went to New York, joining Legacy?
I'm sorry, Richie. It's a little bit on and off. Can you say it again? The question.
Oh, sorry. So can you tell us, was there anyone who encouraged you to join Legacy, or was that part of your bucket list when you were still in Taiwan?
Well, no. To join Legacy is kind of, I would say, sort of random, because my previous boss is also one of my mentor in life, is Shingo, and Shingo Gokon, he won 2012 Legacy. So the funny story is when he hired me, Angel Share, is actually because he won the competition, so he knows he needs to start traveling around to mix drinks around the world, so they need extra hands. And then that's the time he hired me. So I was a doorman to cover just cover the team. And then slowly I become one of the team member, and then I like bartending, so I become a bartender there. And then Legacy was sort of a assignment. Every year, Shingo give us assignment, a task, sort of to create drinks, to practice your skills, and based on the regulation of based on the rule of the competition. So for us, it's just like sort of like homework. So we compete each other who is working in the bar, using Legacy's rule as our rule, and then luckily I sort of won the competition internally in Angel Share, and then Shingo said, yeah, okay, so now you have the recipe already, so why don't you just go sign up? I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, why not, right? So I did it just out of curiosity, and out of I just take advantage of the task or the homework we have in Angel Share, and sign up Legacy, and then the journey started. So it's a long journey for me. I compete, including the time in Angel Share, that was 10 months for the Legacy.
Yeah, and I think, well, it's really tough competing in the nationals of US, because you have parts, right? North, South, and then your local or your internal competition. So
Yeah.
it's really like a needle in a haystack, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So moving forward. So now let's talk about double chicken, please. So let's. Can you tell everybody here what is double chicken, please?
So Double Chicken Please is a brand. I would say it's a brand that I created around 12 years ago, I think 13 years ago, when I was in college. When I was about graduate from college, I thought I studied design, industrial design. So I thought I'm gonna do a design studio with my best friend who I met in my college. His nickname's Turkey, and at the time my nickname is in Mandarin is Ji Pai, so it's like a chicken fillet. So we both are chicken-ish.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, it would be fun just to name our design studio something catchy, something funny. It doesn't need to be something formal or something profound. So I thought about it and just say, how about double chicken, please? Since we both are chicken-ish, and
Yes,
it's just
yes.
like order sandwich when you say, please give me double meat. So
Yes,
I
yes.
named it back then, it's around 13 years ago. And then by chance, I became a bartender afterwards and moved out Taiwan to New York. And this whole bar project actually started almost 5.5, almost 6 years ago in New York. At the time, I was in Angel for like 4 years at the time, I guess. And I thought, okay, there's something I want to achieve and something I want to do, because Angel have a really unique, have a really fixed style you need to follow. It's Japanese, it's kind of classic but twisted. It's really cool. I love it so.
Yes.
I like it so much. But it's have a really unique. It's a tradition. It's been there This year is there. Angel shares 27 years. So I shouldn't and I can't change anything there. I think this is so beautiful as it is. But I still have something that I want to do. So I started to look for a place and to just form my new concept of what I want to do. And Double Chicken Please is the name of the brand, also the name of the bar, also the name of the design studio. And so the thing I try to do is create a brand. It's not just a bar, it's not just a design studio. It's basically a brand that do all this stuff. I have my message, I have my philosophy, or I have my own way to think and to design, to create. And that's basically everything is under this brand. And now Faye Chen, my really good friend from High L, based back home in Taiwan, she moved here.
Is she
from
back?
Shanghai.
She back in Taiwan, or she's there in New York? Is she in New York now, or is she back in?
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
York.
Okay.
So we're doing this together to create this brand, to create this bar. Everything is getting there. Probably need another 2 to 3 months to, depends on these pandemic things, but we need another 2-3 months to get the bar ready and open the door. And then just we've been waiting for so long, the past 5 years. It's a long journey for us as well, but it's getting there. So we're both really excited and want to bring this fun thing alive and start serving people behind the bar again, to interact with everybody. It's gonna be a really fun project. It's been long, it's been painful, honestly. It's been dragging our energy. But I think everything happened for a reason, as people say.
Yes.
And
yes.
It's getting there. And we can see the place is building every day. Not now. Now everything's stopped. But at least the job is halfway done, and we can see in the early future everything's gonna start rolling. So yeah.
So you found the place already. You have a
we found
city.
the
I mean,
place. Yeah, we
is
found
it
the
still
place.
in New York also?
Yes, in Lower East Side, New York.
Okay. But are you still doing? Okay. By the way, for the viewers who are here right now, so actually the Double Chicken Please is also like a traveling bar, right? It's like a mobile bar, literally, because you do a pop up in. How many cities were you able to do the pop up during those 5 years?
I started doing the pop up around 3 years ago, when about the time right after I quit and just share. So I did that.
Okay.
It's actually sort of a coincidence. So when I left Angel Share, I thought we're gonna open the bar already. At the time, we are negotiating with a landlord to get a place, blah blah blah. And then suddenly the place is gone. The landlord actually want to take the place and open the bar by himself. So it was a shock. So, but nothing I could do. So I just backed out. I just said, all right, I have to go find something else. Around the time, one of my sort of really good friend who gonna work with me on this project, he suddenly left New York back to his country. He can't stay in New York anymore. So I was very down. And so it's around that time I started thinking, like, what should I do? And at the time I just very randomly saw a video on YouTube. Someone from Alaska, a couple from Alaska, they have this kind of like vintage Volkswagen bus, and they renovate it, and then they jump on the bus, travel for 2 years, all the way from Alaska to Patagonia. So that's basically from the very north to the very south of the earth. So I saw it and I said, wow, that's so cool. That's something I want to do actually. So I started looking for the bus. I actually told my business partner, say, I need some time to, take a break to put myself back together. So to travel in a van is just something I really want to do at that moment. So I found the bus, I bought it, and I renovated it, and I hit the road. And then it wasn't so easy. The car broke down on highway so many times. I pushed the car on highway over 10 times during all the trips, and it's another journey too. It's really fun. And months later, I was on the road, and I suddenly feel like I really want to serve people. I want to talk to people. I want to mix drink. It's just something I love. So I think, how about put two things together, mixing and traveling. So at the time, I start thinking, how can I build a bar inside the van, and then I just use my old skateboard and cut it and polish it and use it become my bar top, very simple bar top made from a skateboard in the bar in the car. And then I start serving drinks. I use 2 coolers, everything pre-batch, and then just start serving. It's fun. It's a really fun project. People like it. It's a very unique experience. You're sitting in a 1977 Volkswagen T2 van and having a cocktail experience. It's very intimate, very fun, and it's kind of nostalgic as well. So
But how was the permits there? I mean, I'm just curious. It's like, do you reserve the space before you go there? Do you pay like a fee to park there for a few hours? I mean, how did that work?
Yeah, so so after I started doing this by my own, suddenly I figured out I need money to keep doing this, because this is actually because the van keep breaking down. So I need to keep fix it, and that really needs money and all the travel stuff like that. So I approached Bacardi, and so Bacardi become one of my sponsors because they really like the project. They say it's really fun and unique. So I partnered with them, and also Kavalan at the time, Kavalan whiskey from back home in Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan.
So both become my sort of sponsor, and then they support me with a little bit fun and a little bit product. So keep me running the bus all over the U.S. And yeah, so we create a website to make people reserve their spot. So it's like two people only, 40 minutes per round. It's like a 3-course. We serve like 3 half drinks, because in 40 minutes to finish 3 full drink, it's just way too much.
It's way too much.
So 2 half drinks and we serve a really small bites in the end. So it's a very lovely, sort of lovely semi-omakase cocktail experience. Yeah.
Okay, so if I was going to reserve, normally how much would that cost if I were on a date? It's like 2 of us going there and reserve. Like, how much would that cost me for
price-wise? I honestly
nice
don't
day?
remember clearly. I think we charge around $50 for the whole session per person. $50. As I remember, I think we charge probably a little bit more in the bigger city like New York, LA. I think we charge $60, as I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Just everybody can afford different price in different cities, so we charge accordingly. But yeah, I think that was a price. I would say it's a good price for such a unique experience, and it's a really fun project. We still want to do that. At the beginning, actually, we want to find a place in New York which has a backyard. We can park the bus, and we can keep doing this like a chef table. So we spend quite some time, I think over a year, to look for a space that have a backyard. And then ended up either is way expensive than we thought, or it just the permit, everything is just very, very hard for us to operate that. And so we sort of just put that idea away and just look for another space that we can do a bar. So so the bus won't be part of the brick and mortar, but we will constantly do this every year as long as the bar is stable. We'll take somebody with us on the bus and just hit the road again. And I think we are thinking the coming year, probably 2021, we can go up to Canada or go down to Mexico.
Where's the bus now? Is it there?
I park it at my friend's place in upstate New York because it's very expensive to park the car in the city. It's almost like paying another rent. So I really can't afford it at the moment. So I park it at my friend's place. He has a house. It's like almost an hour and a half, 2 hours away from mine.
I see.
So,
okay.
I just park it there
Okay. All right. So again, like to welcome everyone in Toma Sessions Live, together with me, Jin Chan of Double Chicken Place in New York. Okay. So let's. I have some few questions before we throw it to our audience. What was the first cocktail that you make in your career? What was the first cocktail that you learned making?
First
Do you
cocktail?
remember? Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember. I think. Okay, I don't necessarily remember the first cocktail I made, but I do remember the first cocktail sort of impressed me was Sex on the Beach.
Oh, okay, okay.
Was Sex on the Beach and Pina Colada. So Sex on the Beach was the first drink I learned how to make. I think I learned how to make, and I think it's actually tasty. Was Sex on the Beach, but the first cocktail that impressed me, that was wow, this is so delicious, like made from someone else, is a Pina Colada from Alan, from the bar called Foreplay in Taiwan, Taipei. So at the time, Alan was actually working at Trio, the other bar, and then I went to visit him because he's a legendary bartender from Taiwan. I look up to him, and I tell him like I can't drink, so I need something light and refreshing. So he made his take on Pina Colada, and it's just so freaking good. I was shocked. I was like, I never thought alcohol can be so tasty. And that also become one of the inspiration for me to create Venceremos, because basically is based on a Pina Colada. So.
Okay, so another trivia that you mentioned, right? I mean, how do you call this? In 1 week, how often do you drink cocktail or alcoholic beverage, or none at all?
If I'm not working, probably none.
Okay. Yeah, because
I'm tasting something. If I'm tasting, I'm creating something, I try to tweak on something. But I can't call myself a drinker, because if I'm chilling, alcohol is probably not the first thing I will drink. Occasionally I will drink. But I love michelada, so probably the only thing I will make for myself is michelada. It's almost like refreshing, savory beer kind of thing. So I love that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now let's go to. Do you have any pet peeves in the operation? Like, is there? Do you have like an expectation when you go to work, or it's your shift? Like, what ticks you off in the shift as a bartender, if any?
That's a hard question. I mean, I don't know.
If none, that's okay. Because we have.
I think this, but I mean, I always say happy, but I think there's a couple of things I really care about, like being on time, to get to work on time. Even 5-10 minutes earlier, I care about that a lot. because I think that says a lot about your personality and how you take care of your job, you take care of customer, you take care of your guest. Like just be on time. I think is a thing that drive people forward. Just like it means you have discipline. And yeah, other than that, during the service, I think as long as you keep yourself like motivated, and then you love serving people, and I think everything can be like every problem can be solved. It's not that you have some issue. We can, like, as long as you trust me, I trust you, and you love serving, you love this bar, we can all grow together. We can all like figure out what's the problem like. So there's no certain problem or certain obstacle that will make me feel like if that makes sense.
So tell us about how's the New York bartending scene. I mean, maybe when you entered, like, was everybody open arms? Well, welcome Jane, welcome to New York. And how did it change? I mean, like from the time you are a newbie there and to now, what can you say about the New York bar scene?
Okay, New York bar scene. New York bar scene is a very big topic. So when I studied in New York, I studied in an American bar. It's called Theater Bar. It closed down 8 years ago. But I studied as an American bar, and then I got to a French fine dining restaurant and an Indian fine dining restaurant and an Italian bistro, and then Angel Share. And then after Angel Share, I worked with Mace, the cocktail bar Mace.
Yeah, Nico.
And Greg for like around 6-8 months. So I worked with different people from different country in New York, and I would say New York scene is very unique and it's very interesting. Well, I would say New York is definitely not the most avant-garde place for cocktail. It's not the most if you want to see or taste the most crazy things, it won't happen in New York, or it's very hard to happen in New York. That's have lots of different reasons behind that, because of law, because the prohibition. The prohibition is almost 90 years ago, but it still affects our law, the liquid law to now. So there's a lot of things we can't use. For example, rotovap, even chamber vacuum. There's a lot of things we just can't legally use it. So if you look at the global trend right now, people are using all different technique to make drink, to extract flavor or to experimental. Like in the US, it's just very, very hard. And but I think the most unique and profound bar scene in New York is about the people here. It's about the drinking culture here. It's about the guest you can get, and also about the hospitality. That's something rooted in everybody's mind and in this city. So that's something actually more interesting for me after years working in New York. Like New York, you can consider as one of the OG city. People start drinking cocktail. So in a sense, actually to work in New York is easier, because most of the people, probably 1/3 of people, they really know what they want to drink.
They want.
They will come into the bar and tell you, I want the Manhattan with fully rye, with Stewart's, with certain brand. They knew and they understand themselves. So in a way, it's actually easier for us, for bartender. You just do whatever they say, right? So as long as you follow what they want, it won't be too off. So in a way, it's easier. But in the same time, you found so many how you say, so many geek
Yes, yes, yes.
who is now a bartender, but who has very profound knowledge of alcohol, of bartending, of history. Like one of my customer, he actually become sort of my I won't say my father, but my mentor. And he's also my designer of my double chicken place. And he's the one I parked the car at his place. He's a totally geek. He's a crazy dude. He's like, I think he's 59 years old now, but he's an American. He brew his own beer. It's phenomenal. And he still his own whiskey out of really simple gears. It's very amazing. And he's a very good cook. He cooked very good food, and he built cars and motorcycles, and he's an architect. He went to Harvard for architect. So he just like a very fun person because he has some experience of culinary stuff and alcohol, all the fermented and stuff. And there's lots of people like that. It's not just him. There's lots of people in New York like that. No matter it's behind the bar or on the other side of the bar, people have a huge knowledge that I don't even know. So it's really fun to work in New York at the bar, to talk with people, to figure out those stories, and to learn from the people, each other. And the culture here, the bartender just also I would say part of the reason is because we are driven by tips.
Yes.
And that's just the culture here. So is you can say it's a game, or you can say it's a thing here. You need to interact with people, and if the more you did, the more you give. Maybe you can get something as well, right?
The more work you put in, the more you get rewarded. Something so,
I would say it's not necessarily a bad thing. It sounds very kind of greedy, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It
not
just
really.
Because when it becomes like a culture thing, it will give you a drive to interact with every single guest on your bar. Even maybe they are sitting on a table, you go there to greeting, to talk, to fulfill what they need to serve them. So it's just a very different vibe in the U.S. and especially in New York. So that's something unique. Also, people here are pretty open mind, and we have lots of people here New York, we have probably roughly 8 to 9 million people. It's definitely not the most crowded city. There's way more crowded city out there. I think in Philippines you have way more people in here. I mean, if you count a big city like Tokyo, like something, it's even bigger. But 8 million people in New York, I guess like 70-80% people are not from New York. We are from somewhere else.
Tourists.
We just all ended up here, gather here, and that makes the culture very unique. So you got so many people with their dream, with their heart, with their soul, and they try to make something happen in New York. And with all these fun people together in the bar, it just it become a really interesting culture and place and to serve. Yeah, so it just been shaped New York differently. Yeah.
All right. You were talking about the Rotovap. So government has a say of what is allowed or not. I mean, which makes me ask you now. So how about existing conditions? Dave Arnold's bar and Don Lee's bar, don't they use Rotovap or Spinzal to be exact?
Well, so first of all, Spinzal, created from Dave Arnold, which is a very genius piece, I think. I think that's also is legal. I think it's a little bit gray area. Because, sometimes it's not even the law. Sometimes it's the people who came to we call Department of Health, where the inspector come in. They sometimes they don't necessarily know what's this.
Yes,
They've never seen a Rotovap. They've never seen a central feature actually. So they will keep like question you about things, and then if they found something that they think is a violation, they give you points, or they come again, blah blah blah. So I think sometimes some stuff is at a gray zone, but you just try to not using it or try to hide it because you don't want to get in any trouble. I mean, living conditions, they do a really good job. I mean, I've been there a couple of times. The new head bartender, A.K. Hada, is a great friend. Dave Arnold, or like Greg, the owner, or Don Lee, they all like great legend, and they do their stuff like perfectly. So I like the bar. I like the way they serve. I don't exactly know how they make their drink, honestly, because I'm not part of the team, and I think there's their thing, right? I don't exactly know how exactly they utilize all those machines. Maybe they have their way. Yeah. I don't.
So AK from PDT. Are you talking about AK from PDT?
Yeah. He left at PDT about couple. I think late last year, late 2019, I guess, or early 2020, and now she's the head bartender or manager. I forget. Maybe manager or head bartender, either position in existing conditions.
All right. Okay. So I think we will be cut. Well, we might get cut in 5 minutes. So I will just reset it for our audience. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, guys, if you have questions, feel free to ask our guest, Jean Chan. Okay. My next question would be, what's your flavor profile? I mean, when you make a cocktail, are you more of sour, sweet, spicy? Are you tea-based? Because you're from Taiwan, so most, it's... or how would you... Do you have like an identity? Like, okay, I'm Jin, so this is my drink. Apart from Venceremos, what... Do you have like a flavor profile that you want to apply in most of your drinks?
Personally, I like something sweet and bitter. It's either sweet or bitter or savory. Like I like michelada, ojo rojo. That's with clamato, everything. Like Bloody Mary, those things. I love it. It's savory. But if it's not savory, I like sweet and bitter at the same time. Like the typical. The classic cocktail spumoni, which is very popular in Asia, at least in Japan and Taiwan. I'm not sure about Philippines, but it's definitely not popular in the US. But it's one of my favorite drinks. You just compare it, grapefruit juice and tonic. It's like a sort of sweet and bitter in the end. That's the type of drink I like. Yeah.
Okay. I like Garibaldi, so it's...
Garibaldi is similar.
Isn't it similar? Okay. So how is New York? How did the New York bartending scene how do you call this, adapt to the COVID? So let's move present now. So the COVID situation. So what was it like there?
Well, I mean, apparently most of the bar, I would say every bar is closed. Some bar doing to go and delivery. I think before the pandemic, before the quarantine, PDT started doing some bottle cocktail. I think they're doing pretty well. I saw on social media Jeff Bell behind that. I think they did a really good job. I think they stopped doing it when the quarantine started, I guess, or as soon as it started, they stopped. And there's a couple bars start doing it, carry on the to go and delivery. One of them are Angel Share, because Angel Share just like 1 minute away from my place, and all my ex coworkers still work there, so I go there sometimes just to hang out and to support them. And they're doing pretty good job during all these quarantine things. They're doing to go and delivery. They can still generate. I think they can still sell. I think around 50 drinks per day, I think.
Oh, nice. That's not bad. That's pretty good number.
50 to 100, depends on the day, cocktail per day, just by to go and deliver. I mean, of course, Indonesia is an exception. I think Indonesia have a name, a history, and the location is really good. It's in the middle of
Yes.
the village, and there's so many
Yes.
supermarkets around Indonesia. Also, Indonesia Group owns a Japanese supermarket as well. So everything it helps because people come to do grocery, then people need to eat, and it's just very convenient for them to go Indonesia to take a cocktail to go as well. So I think everything helps, but Indonesia really, as I know, they did a really good job. I mean, it's not. At least I think they can cover the rent. They can cover all the workers there. I think shouldn't have any problem with that. So I think they did a very good job.
Okay, but how about the government? I mean, what's the role of the government in helping out? Are they helping out the bartenders in New York? Is there like a plan or a subsidy or whatnot?
Well, honestly, I don't know if there's any plan from government specifically for bartender. I don't think so. But just generally, U.S. have some support from the government that this they call stimulus bill or something, right? So there's something. But I know there's USBG received like huge amount of fund from big brands like Bacardi, like Diageo, like other smaller
Tito's
brands.
is, I think Tito's is pretty active in the States. Tito's vodka, right? I've heard it.
USBG?
And Bacardi. Yeah. Well, as far as I heard.
Yeah, they are very involved. They are very active. So I think they got some fund, and then they're gonna just you can apply for it if you're a bartender or if you're a family of bartender, you can apply for it. And I don't know. Actually, I think it's a really good thing. I just don't know how that goes. I haven't heard anybody around me say, "Oh, they got the money," but it's just so limited, and there's so many bartender and family out there need help. So I just don't think USBG will have enough money to give to everybody to help.
Yeah.
I think they're doing whatever they can, and I think they are. I mean, I just want to give a shout out to USBG. I think they are in the because people still like saying bad things. Say, "Oh, I didn't get a check. I didn't get anything." But I think if you think about it, they are in the toughest position because they have the money. And how can you choose to give away that money to the people who really need help? It's a very hard thing to determine who to help and who not to help, or who.
Yes.
It's just very, very hard. I don't even want to be in that
agree.
position. I don't want to be the one who doing that because it's just impossible to please everybody. So
Exactly.
I do believe they are doing their best. I hope they are doing their best, and I just hope the people who needs help the most can get the money and the help they need. And if you haven't get the help, just hang tight. I really think the economy will open again, so hopefully everything will be fine.
Okay, so we have 30 seconds. Then before this is cut, how are you holding up?
I'm doing good.
I mean,
I'm really good. I mean, healthy, trying to just be patient and just be positive to everything. So I'm totally good. Yeah, I'm just being patient.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I will disconnect this and I. Okay, so we're back. I mean, what's a typical day? What's a typical day for you there in New York with this situation? Like, since it's a lockdown, but then again, I mean, do you like walk to the next block to buy your groceries? Like, how often do you do that? What's a typical day like?
Well, honestly, I mean, I live in East Village, which is very like center in New York. It's normally is the loudest street ever. It's the very young, very energetic area. Now
Mm.
it's kind of quiet.
Mm.
But I mean, people still do the same. We still go out to buy grocery to do what necessary to do. Um, it's not as severe as maybe people saw on TV. I guess. I mean,
I see.
yeah. People here are acting normally with the mask. I mean, it's not. It's. I think at some moment, I might miss this. I might miss this. This vibe is kind of unique, and sometimes I think the Earth needs this too to take a break.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm not necessarily see this as a bad thing. It just give time, give people time to reset, to think, to calm yourself and
Reflect.
to charge
Yeah.
yourself.
I'm
good.
with you there.
So far, actually, my daily life, most of the time, like 4 days a week, I have to go to our sister restaurant to help them to make bento box to make lunch for the medical worker. So it's from one of my friend. He started collect the donation from society to make bento box for the medical worker. So we joined the force. So we just help them to make the bento box, and some people will deliver to the medical worker. So that becomes sort of my daily life now. And
Nice. Hats off. I mean, as long as you have a mask and PPE or some sanitizer, then that's actually good. Because Ron, one reason I asked, because in the news it's all over. New York is number one in terms of affected people of the COVID and even casualties. So it's coming from you. Well, that's it's good to know that it's not really. I mean, media has its way really of blowing things out of what they're supposed to be really. So okay. So now let's move forward before we go to the questions. So what? Because I've been asking all of our guests here in Toma session now, because I mean, it's crazy with the new norm that they're talking about, like 6 feet distance. You know what I mean? You go to a bar and you have that kind of norm. It's like it's kind of weird / awkward / funny, But what do you, especially New York? I mean, like I've been there a couple of times, and it's. I mean, when you go to a bar, okay, perfect example is angel share. It's sometimes, we have this term in Philippines, right? Like it's too crowded that sometimes you get to exchange your face with another guest because it's just too tight squeeze, right? So how does that affect the business after COVID?
I don't know. I really don't know. We'll see. We're still in it, so I really don't know what exactly will happen afterwards, or how can we deal with it. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
We really need to wait and see how people react.
Yeah.
And how we should react. I don't think there's a perfect answer for this. It just
yes.
Every place is varied, right? It's different
Yes.
from different place. So yeah, if you look at China, like I have lots of friends who opened a bar in China. Also, like my mentor Shingo, their bar is busy now. They're back around 60%, as he told me. So it's pretty
Sober
good.
or sober and odd?
Sober
Odd couple and sober.
Sober and
Okay.
speak low. So
Speak low. Yeah.
yeah. So I think people still going out. I don't know how people apply the rule, 6 feet, everything. I really don't know. I really don't know what will be the new norm. It really needs to I think we all be part of it to create a new norm. So I think so.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have that point of view, because, like I said, I asked a few of our guests here. Well, Dale DeGroff has his own opinion about after COVID. Jillian, and the rest of the guys. So Me, I agree with you. It remains to be seen. We don't really know. I mean, as of now, you know, you
Yeah.
take it one day at a time, but at the same time, you have to be ready once the whole thing is over. You know, you have to be, you have to prepare what comes next. But for now, I mean, that's why.
Of course, I think at the beginning people still skeptical. As I know, like in China, when they just reopen, people still go out. People will go out to the bar, but I think they spend less time in the bar. They probably just have one drink and they're gonna leave because they just want to expose themselves in the public like for too long. So they shorten their time spent in the bar normally. Unless you have an outdoor space. I heard some outdoor places packed with people, but you know, it just depends on what kind of space you have. But yeah.
Sober Speaker is here. Is he from Sober? Sober Speaker.
Oh,
I don't know
Shingo.
if he's your friend. Oh, Shingo. Hey, Shingo-san. How are you? How are you? Shingo, congratulations for the nominee, right? So yeah, Shingo's also what do you call this? He's an inspiration also here to Filipinos. He's been here once or twice, I think, for master classes. So yeah, okay. We have a question from our guest. His name is Jeff the Divas. All right. So he asked. He was asking, where did you learn the shake? I know the answer, but might as well because he said he loved the way you shake, and how come it's a cobbler rather than a Boston shaker?
How come it's a cobbler than a Boston shaker?
Yeah, because you're using, yeah, you know, I was there, man. I saw the whole thing, and they saw your video also. But I mean, I don't know. I was just curious why use a cobbler rather than a Boston.
I think I started when I just started bartending. I used Boston shaker as well. I learned bartending with Boston shaker, and slowly, and I got introduced to cobbler shaker, and I moved to New York. I think I started my bartending technique, like really practice my technique when I was in English. Of course, Shingo influenced me a lot. He taught me a lot his way. And at the time, there's a couple other senpai in English, like Shige-san, like Tetsuo-san. They all teach me their own style. So everybody have a little bit different. And I just started practice each different style. And then I sort of just tweak it to adapt to myself, which style is my body can do the best. So I didn't really practice how it looks like or how should I do. It just naturally become like that. It's like all the senpai I learn from, and I incorporate all those things, and I think the way makes sense for me, and I do it, and I stick with it. I practice it and make it better. It's more like that.
Yeah.
I think at least if you ask me why is cobbler than a Boston shaker? Boston shaker is heavy. It's very heavy. So I mean, to have a very micro control like your shaker, lighter shaker is a bit easier, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, and you even did a palm spin, huh? You remember during the competition, you shake and then you did the palm spin, the risky palm spin.
The palm spin, yeah. I mean, people ask me about that, but that's actually a very random thing. I think
I know you were in the zone, man. You were excited. You were there, so it's like whoa. So yeah,
no,
it's cool.
But I mean, that's just a. I think every bartender knows that. If you do something again, and then again, sometimes there's one movement or one gesture. It just happened, and then you stick with it. It just naturally happened. I think that's the pump spin. I never really practice it. It just become like one day, and from that day, every time I shake, I do a pump spin. It just become like that. Yeah. Of course, I can control myself not doing it. I'm fine with not doing it. Just hold the shaker tight. But it suddenly just become the normal thing, the routine for me. So I just keep doing it. It's not saying like I practice it for really hard or whatever. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so there you go, Jeffrey. That's the answer. Hope Jin was able to answer it. Now, another question we have from Lennon Aguilar from Discovery Premier. He's the bar manager there, one of the hotels here in the Philippines. Most of the craft cocktails now in the bars are made Instagrammable or good in photos. Now, with the new norm today that most of the food and beverage products are sold for delivery and takeout. So, what's your take on that? Being Instagrammable and how does that coincide with the COVID situation?
Okay. Sissy, stop. Sissy, stop. Okay, let me answer this question. So, I think. Okay. Let me take Shingo as an example.
Yeah. Shout out Shingo.
The roots I want to shout out to him, but I want to use Shingo's style, the way he creates drinks as an example for this question. Because that's the thing I learned when I was in Angel Share. At the time when I started Angel Share, I think that was 8 years ago. At the time, there's no Instagram, there's no such a big social media stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing we do now, at least from what I learned, Share doing or Shingo's doing now, and back 8 years ago, the look of the look of the drink or the way we create drinks, how it looks like, is now a big difference. It's not because it's not like we are adapting our drink how it looks with the social media. He never do that. Shingo always do the thing that he think this is right. It makes sense. You have to make sense. All the decoration, all the garnish, everything makes sense to put on that drink, and it looks great. Just because it's simple and is beauty, have the aesthetic. You need to have aesthetic to create a beautiful thing, I think. Yeah. So I will say, to make things that looks good on Instagram, it should come naturally. You create a good looking thing. It's not like you doing this just for Instagram. Unless you are doing something gimmicky, something like fun. Gimmicky could be a good thing though. Gimmicky doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Gimmicky sometimes is fun. If you look at what Aviary have done years ago, the old fashioned in rock, they put juice in the ice. It's sort of gimmicky, but it's a new way to drink. It's a new way to experience the drink. So I think that's cool. That's very inspiring as well. Maybe that's not the best way to serve a old fashioned, because you break the ice, the little chips melt faster, blah 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 blah. But it's a new thing. That's a new thing. It's inspiration, and it's good on ice. It's eye catching, and I think that's good. Not necessarily it's bad. Just the thing I tell myself is everything have to make sense. You don't put extra thing. You don't try to waste any material. You just make sense and make it clean and pretty. And if people also think that's pretty, hooray, I'm success. But if people think that's not good looking, then just
that's okay. That's their
opinion. What you believe.
Yeah. Well, with that, shout out to Eddie of Cocktails for You. Eddie, this is my life. Nice to see you again in the channel. So he was also here with us when I guested Daniel Nevsky. So okay, let's see if we have some more questions. Actually, Eddie he made a comment, if I was a girl, I would marry him. And then Cici said, do you have a girlfriend? Okay, there's a question. Cici asking if you have a girlfriend.
Cici is my friend. I don't have a girlfriend now. I don't really have a girlfriend now. But yeah, Cici is my really good friend back home.
Okay, Cici. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Someone's asking RTD cocktail for delivery.
Okay, so the same. It's Lennon. So he was actually he was in follow up to his previous question. How do you think for the to go cocktails? I mean, the Instagrammability kind of
Okay.
lesson, right? So because
Okay.
it's to go. So what's your take on that?
I think there's a two questions about one's about RTD and one's about Instagrammable RTD cocktail.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I'm also thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Just what's the best way to do it? And in my opinion, okay, take New York as an example. The law changed. Before we can do RTD, we can do delivery. Just because the pandemic, so the government changed the law, so we can temporarily do all this stuff. I do think it will last. The government won't take it back. I guess, hope. So people can still like selling RTD and like pre-batch drink. And once the market reopened, it's become a battlefield because people still not fully coming out. This is the way to approach it to get sales. I think it will be a new battlefield. Everybody start doing pre-batch. Everybody start doing this. And how can you stand out? How can you sell your product? How can you make people buy your product? It will be a challenge. But also, I don't know because during this pandemic, you see all this RTD stuff like that. It made me a bit concerned because you waste so many products. You waste so many plastic container. You waste so many this and that just because you want to achieve the to-go cocktail. I think there's two big way, right? People put in a bottle or people use the vacuum bag to seal it.
Yeah.
I think it's all like good solution to do to-go cocktail, but not the best solution. But honestly, I don't know what's the best solution. I don't know. I really don't know. I also was thinking, I see some bar doing glassware container, and if you bring back the glassware, if you finish a drink, you bring back, they give you a discount, and then remake the drink.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the way. And there's some brand, for example, the Cooper brand in New York, the brand ambassador is Ali. Ali is supporting some bar doing to go. She custom the really beautiful like metal water bottle for them to do batch cocktail. And same thing, when people have that, this is something valuable. It's not just a plastic cup. It's not just a plastic bag. It's an actual real product. So they will bring it back to the bar to ask for the refill, something like that. So I think that's more eco-friendly. But honestly, I don't even know if that's the best answer. I really don't know. So I'm also thinking, but it's a really good thing that we can all think about it. We can all like try things. But no matter what, clearly this is gonna be a new trend for a while for sure. And also all the merchandise, people will start making merchandise. Like the cap, the t-shirt, everything related to your bar, everything that can bring out the value or to generate some income, people will start doing it. So it's become a really big like battlefield, a new battlefield. People will fight for it. But I think it's a good thing. It diverse. It forces everybody to start to think. You are not just a drink maker. You are not just food and beverage. Now you need to think more outside the box, or you need to think more broadly what you can do. And I think in some country, you can legally sell online, and you can put everything online to sell. In US, it's still a gray area. Something you can sell online, something you can't. But in certain country, the law is a little bit more not as strict as here. So I think that's a good chance for people to stimulate their brand and to start thinking what can they do through the internet platform to actually sell stuff, because you have a wider audience, you have a wider consumer over there, because you can reach out to even the other state or the other country through internet?
Yeah, actually, in Philippines, it's strict. It's frustrating. Although I'm drinking beer now, but there's liquor ban in different cities here in Metro Manila, which is the main, how I would say, the business district. There's like only 2 cities that don't have liquor ban. So it's a good thing I have some stash here in my house, so I'm okay with that. But my take on that is it's survival. The to-go cocktails in the Philippines, it's still pretty much in infancy stage.
Yeah.
I mean, people like me, for example, I would still rather have a beer. Maybe I buy 2 cases of beer that will last me for a week or so than well, maybe I will just make my own cocktail at home if I have.
Well, I mean, I can probably say one thing is that's how I figured this to go cocktail. I think I have done a bottle cocktail with GQ Taiwan before in Taiwan, and it's actually really interesting how they do those bottle cocktail. And our bar DCP, we're gonna have some draft cocktail too, the cocktail on draft. And I learned this from different kind of places, different person. One of the person I learned is Angus in Taiwan. They do draft
Yes.
in Taiwan and Hong Kong. So I flew back years ago and to learn from him, to ask questions, all this. And I think bottle cocktail should be more similar to draft cocktail because how you make draft, you need to think about lots of things like if things gonna go back soon, if there's bacteria, if blah blah. There's lots of things you need to care about. Put that in the bottle so that the bottle cocktail can keep it longer. If you just make exactly the same way we make behind the bar, still drinkable, it's still enjoyable, but just the thing probably not. It won't last that long, and the taste might change. It might have some residual, blah blah blah. The look might be bad. So there's a lot of concern of it. So I think to clarify stuff to like what I learned is when the alcohol content is over 20%, over 40 proof, it will be more stable. And everything you put in infusion, everything have to be organic. So everything can keep it longer. Like the one we made in Taiwan with GQ, that one can keep it room temperature for 2 years at least.
Oh,
So
okay.
it give you a wide range of time to enjoy it or to storage it or even just to collect it. Yeah, it's not something you buy it today and you have to drink it today. Yeah, I see some place is selling cocktail, to-go cocktail exactly the same way they make drinks every day. And let's say if you buy 6 drinks, and then you probably have to finish that 6 drinks in a day or 2 in order to to have it fresh. So that's a big challenge for some people, for most of people. So I think the way to go bottle cocktail, you need to think about this. Either you clarify either how you extend the shelf life of the product.
Shelf life.
Yeah, and how you package it, how you do it. I think there's thing we can all think about it. And personally, I think there's 2 things I will want to achieve. One is very like RTD, like Bacardi just launched the RTD cocktail probably a couple days ago. It's like in a small soda can. It's a Bacardi lime with soda, or Bacardi something with soda, with very simple stuff. Those kind of RTD stuff you can easily sell through all the channel like supermarket or something that you can have a quantity of it. You can sell mass production it. But of course that's a little bit harder for us to approach because as a single like individual bartender
Proprietor, yeah.
needs like lots of layer of that to make it happen. But I think that's one of the things that we all can learn from, or we can all aim in. That's something we want to achieve because that's something open a big market. If it's not like that, the other thing I want to do will be more like the way I collab with GQ before, something more like well designed, more collectible, more show the character of the bar, of the person, or of the brand. Something more like real, well designed, collectible. The price might be a little bit higher, but I think people will, if you do it right, I think people will like to collect it and like to to buy it as a thing, even as a gift. That this is too extreme. I think this is too extreme, and that's something I will spend my time to do some research on both ends. In the middle, just by doing regular cocktail, putting the to-go cup and make people do to-go, I think it's still doable for a short period of time. Especially now, people still like buying it. People still it's the way we drink now because pandemic. But post-pandemic, after 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, after a year, is people still buying these pre-batch cocktail just for tonight, for tomorrow? I doubt it. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no, but I doubt it. So I think to go to those two extreme, the RTD, which can really mass production, or the other way to do a small batch but really well designed collectible item, will be the future. I think. I might be wrong, but at least that's my opinion for now.
Yeah, no. I mean, anything is possible. And actually, I remember even here in the Philippines, the RTD, it's like fashion. It goes back. And trends come and go. In fact, here I remember RTD. There were a few companies that introduced RTD in the early 2000s. Then it disappeared, and then actually Bacardi was in the forefront of the Breezer, right? The Breezer is like an RTD, and now there's to go, because like I said, in the Philippines there's a steady growth of the cocktail culture, and it's exciting. It's just a matter of if all the cities would be in equal footing of growth. You know what I mean? Because like in the States, so how many states do you have? You have the discussion of East Coast is different from the West Coast. It's like you have a different cocktail culture there in the East Coast versus when you go to maybe LA. You know what I mean? So but everyone knows cocktails, most majority. So like what you said, it makes it a bit easier for bartenders to make the drink, but at the same time, when you have this mindset of an entrepreneur or a businessman, then you start thinking of these options, which is really great. Okay, so do we have other questions? Actually, again, shout out to your friend Cici Chai, because I read her comments. You're welcome. It's an honor to have Jean Chan here in Toma sessions. So Jerry Miranda also is here. Shout out. Okay, so maybe let's do one last game. I think you know the fast talk, right? So I'll just give you two options, then you just choose one, and then after that you can give your final inspiration to all our viewers. So this is called the fast talk. So I will just mention two items, then you choose which one are you. Okay.
Sure.
So one, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay. Beer or wine?
Beer.
Indoors or outdoors?
Outdoors.
Okay. Sports or arts?
Is it sports or art?
Yeah, sports or arts?
Can I choose both?
Okay, yeah, why not? Running or biking?
Biking.
Okay. Chicken or fish?
Fish.
Okay. New York or Seattle?
New York.
Okay. Then plane or bus?
What's a bus?
Plane or bus?
A plane or bus? Bus.
All right. Okay. So I think maybe you'd like to give your final message, like how maybe the question would be any words of advice to our bartenders here from the Philippines and the aspiring bartenders who are listening right now.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I mean, this is a tough time for everybody, for this society, for every industry. It's all tough time. We just need more patience. We need more generosity, and like I said before, I honestly think the earth, the mother earth, need this break. So, and if you think about our grandfather, grandmother, their generation, they suffering from the war, from World War II, World War I, or something. And our generation, we are lucky enough to be living in this modern world, was sort of peaceful and have everything we need. So the only thing we need to do is just stay home, wash our hands, and we can save this world and we can make progress. So I think we are still considered a very lucky generation. So just be patient and find some time to improve yourself or do whatever you can, and contact with your friends and just share your caring. And I hope once everything back to new normal again, I don't think it will be back to normal. It will be a new normal, and we are all part of it to create that new normal around the world. So hopefully we'll see you guys again in person, serve drinks, serve food, and serve laugh. And looking forward to it, and just can't wait to see everybody in person. I'll be in New York.
Yeah, in the Philippines. I mean, they're waiting for you here. I mean, okay, shout out to Bacardi. Maybe they're listening now. So it would be great to have you here and maybe take you around the bars. Okay, so thank you very much, Jean. It was a pleasure. It was an honor to have you here, despite our time difference. Well, we wish you all the best there. We wish you all the best with Double Chicken, please, and all your other endeavors. And with that, you have a nice day. And for our viewers, thank you for watching Toma Sessions Live. We have actually, Wednesday we have a guest, and this should be a surprise because it's my birthday on the 11th.
Oh.
So I'm having Salvatore Calabrese as my guest. So it's a nice birthday gift to talk with the maestro. All right, so guys, thank you. You can catch the replay of our conversation in FB Bartending School Philippines or Richie Toma Sessions in YouTube. So with that, guys, stay safe, keep clean, wash your hands, and good night and good morning to you, Jane. Thank you. Peace. Peace out.
Peace. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.